Welcome into 76ers Now by Chat Sports. I am Jake Chipper, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about Ricky Council, why I believe in him so much, and why I think he can shock the NBA this year and have a true breakout campaign for the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, before we get into the reasons why I believe Ricky Council is due for a big season, if you believe in Ricky Council as much as I do, hit that thumbs up icon. Like the video. Ricky Council going to be a big second season for him, just coming off of a great summer league. So if you like what you saw, if you think he can be an impact player in Nick Nurse's rotation this season for the Sixers, hit that thumbs up icon, like the video. Let's show your support for Ricky on today's video. And now let's get right into it. Ricky Council, is he due for a breakout season? He was undrafted in the 2023 NBA draft coming out of Arkansas. Immediately signed a two-way deal with the Sixers after the draft. Daryl Morey was a big fan of Ricky Council, and he was one of the better players to not get drafted, so it was great for the Sixers to be able to land him after that NBA draft. And this past season, I spent time in the G League, spent some time with the actual Sixers roster, especially when Joel Embiid went down with injury, and he played so well that the Sixers converted his two-way contract into a standard NBA deal, 4 years, $7.4 million, which, let me just tell you right now, an absolute steal, even if he doesn't end up being a star player, an all-star player, a high-end starter, even if he's a solid player off the bench, 4 years, $7.4 million. That is tremendous value for a player like Ricky Council. So let's get into it. 5 reasons here why I believe Ricky Council is due for success and due for a great season. Number one, the quick improvement that he's already shown thus far in his NBA career. We've seen steady growth from Ricky Council. Again, coming from an undrafted free agent to even where he is at right now. And I think the thing he's improved on the most, that we've seen the most growth in from his time in college to now, is that three-point shooting. In college, he was a 30% three-point shooter. Not awful, but he was one of the biggest weaknesses in his game. And then coming into the league in the 2023 Summer League, he shot 6% from three. It was terrible. Pre-All-Star break this past season, still obviously struggled, but after the All-Star break, only took about 2 threes a game, but knocked down 44% of those shots, and he even said, at the end of the season, he was getting more and more confident with that shot. And in the Summer League this year, the percentages isn't great at 29.3, but he was really good at Salt Lake City. Fell off a little bit once we got to the Vegas Summer League, but he was taking a lot of threes, a lot of tough, pull-up threes, deep threes, stuff that he was kind of experimenting with his game a little bit. So I did like what I saw there, even though the numbers weren't great. As a whole, in Summer League, I thought he just looked a lot more confident. And he looked like a true leader with that Summer League squad. A lot of rookies, a lot of unproven guys. He came in as a second-year guy. And I thought, kind of did what you're supposed to do, right? As a second-year player who's looking to have a breakout year, you're supposed to look better than everybody else. You're supposed to look like the best player on the floor. And a lot of games, Ricky Council did look like the best player on the floor for the Sixers, so I just hope he can carry that confidence over into next season if he gets significant minutes in this rotation. Number two, why I think he'll succeed is his athleticism. And we really saw that a lot as well during Summer League. Like, he throws down some flashy dunks on fast breaks. Him and Jeff Dowden had a great connection. Imagine what someone like him and Maxey can do, him and Embiid, him and Paul George. He really has all the athletic tools you need to succeed as a wing in this league. And I think he'll be able to utilize that to his advantage when, he's attacking the rim. He's attacking the offensive glass in particular, which he's already shown, a great knack of attacking the boards. And on his the defensive end of the floor as well, which we'll get to here in a second, talking about his defense, because I think that's another prime aspect of his game that could help him see minutes this season. But before we get into that, guys, got to tell you about these Paul George jerseys. They are available now through our friends at Fanatics. You go to chatsports.com/Paul George to get your hands on a Paul George jersey right now. You want blue, you want white, get your Paul George jersey today, PG8. I'm going to be getting one for sure this upcoming season. Obviously, the big move. Paul George has been making his rounds in the media, and we've been telling you about this great deal here. So be sure, before they start going out and selling out, because they're going to be a popular item here, chatsports.com/Paul George. Going to be in the description, attached to the pinned comment of this video. So don't wait. Don't hesitate. Be sure to go get your Paul George jersey right now. Again, that's chatsports.com/Paul George. Now, the third reason I think Ricky Council is due for a breakout year, his defensive capabilities and his defensive ability. I think that's sort of what can get him on the floor and getting significant minutes right away. And Daryl Morey kind of revealed that to be the case when we had our exit interviews this past season, saying, I think with Ricky, it could be defense. So I think as long as his defense is at a high level, that's when we have an injury or something next year and Nick is facing a really tough wing that we're struggling to guard, he might go, you know what, I'm going to give Ricky a shot. Or if there's multiple injuries like we had this year, where he'll get a chance to play. So Daryl Morey saying it right there. Defense is going to be Ricky Council's best path to significant playing time this season, just sort of as it was last year. And it makes sense, right? The Sixers have some decent defenders. I think Maxey is a little bit underrated in that aspect, and we've seen him put on some strength, some muscle this offseason. I think he'll be better there. Paul George, still a very, very good defender. Obviously, one of the best two-way wings in the NBA. Embiid's locking it down in the paint. Caleb Martin can do a little bit. Kelly Oubre showed significant strides on the defensive end of the floor this season. But they don't really have that one guy who's known to be a true lockdown defender, a pest on the wing who can guard guards, guard forwards. They don't really have that true, perimeter stopper. And I think Ricky Council, combined with the athleticism that I talked about before, and the traits and the potential he's already shown on the defensive end of the floor thus far, can be one of the best perimeter defensive wings in the league. I really think that's his upside, many years in the future. So if he wants to start showing out and getting significant playing time, I think that defensive ability could be a reason why he sees the floor and has a breakout season. Number 4, he's already had some proven success. Now, it's not like he's been out there in the NBA dropping 15 points a game every night and, it's in the Rising Stars game, things like that. But he's had moments when he's called upon that I think show he's ready to play more minutes. Just take a look at this game against the Washington Wizards back in February. It was a back and forth game. No Joel Embiid for this game. And Ricky Council comes in, again, not playing much. 19 points, 10 rebounds, 5 of those being offensive rebounds, was 7 of 13 from the field. And one of those offensive rebounds was key down the stretch. Got an offensive board late, made a layup to go up 6 with 45 seconds left in what ended up being a 119-113 win. So a very good game for Ricky Council, who showed, again, why that athleticism is so important, crashing the glass, which the Sixers definitely need more of on that aspect. And then later in the season, when the Sixers were making their playoff push, trying to secure one of those final play-in spots against the San Antonio Spurs, this was a crazy game. This was a double overtime game. Maxey scored 52 points. It was wild. Ricky Council actually played no minutes until the fourth quarter. You see, he ended up playing 22 minutes, no minutes until the fourth quarter. He then played the entire fourth quarter and the entirety of both the first and second overtime periods, ended up with 11 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals, 2 of which came in overtime, which was absolutely massive and was efficient when he did take his shots 4 or 5 from the field. So I think Ricky Council really just showed that he's ready. He's ready for the moments. He's not going to get in the game and be timid, be shy, and not be able to make an impact on the game. When he's called upon, man, he's dependable, and he can be, worthy of more minutes this season because, again, he showed that this past year he's ready for the moment, and he is that guy. And finally, why I think he can succeed, I think he has the right mentality to succeed in the NBA. He has that killer mentality, that dog mentality. He wants to be the best player on the floor. He wants to improve, and he talked about that during his exit interviews this past season. Ricky Council said, all the optional days we have, it's not optional for us. All the blackout days, I probably missed 2 or 3, but other than that, I was still in here talking about it in the practice facility. So it's a lot of work. I surprise myself at times when I think about the growth. I still remember when I went 1 for 17 in the summer league. He's talking about back in 2023 summer league, to the point where I didn't want to shoot the ball. My teammates begged me to catch and shoot, and I wouldn't take them. And now I could take them with one eye open. So it all started back in the summer league. I can't wait to get to work this summer. I proved a lot of people wrong, and there's more to come of that for sure. And we've already seen that in this past summer league with Ricky Council. You can see he's been putting the work in. You can see he's been doing what he can to improve his game, improve his weaknesses, work on those weaknesses while building on his strengths. And I think that's why Ricky Council, with that mentality combined with the ability and the physical ability he already has, kind of has what it takes. So just a quick recap why I think Ricky Council can shock the NBA this season. The quick improvement we've already seen, especially in his three-point shooting ability since college. The athleticism combined with the defensive ability, I think, gives him, versatility and ability to affect the game in a lot of different ways. He's shown that he can step up in some big moments, as we've seen in some of these regular season games this past year. Can he do it in the playoffs? That's going to be big. And I also think he has the right mentality to succeed in a league like the NBA. Now, of course, there are obvious areas of improvement for Ricky Council. He's still a young player, And he's still a guy that has to prove that he does deserve minutes, right? He's not just going to be handed minutes by any stretch of the imagination. He has to go out and show it. So I think there's 3 areas he can improve upon that would allow him to play more and make a bigger impact for this team. Number 1, he's got to be more consistent shooting the ball, and he's done a great job, as I mentioned, improving that and working on that. But if you're going to want to play in an offense with Tyrese Maxey and Paul George and Joel Embiid, you're going to have to be able to knock down your open shots, those corner threes, and be consistent shooting those open shots because you're going to get looks. So he's going to have to be more consistent shooting the ball from the outside. He's going to have to be comfortable and continue to learn and grow how to play with Joel Embiid on the floor. Sort of goes hand in hand, but Embiid's going to get doubled a lot. He's going to be able to find you when you're open. So you're going to have to be able to knock down those open shots, make smart cuts, know where Embiid likes you to be when he does get those double teams in the post, and make sure that you can work with him. Because at the end of the day, with Joel Embiid's team, you got to make sure that you can adapt and fit your skill set to being able to play around him. And finally, I think he could, use a little bit more of an improvement with the ball in his hands. He definitely showed more of that as well in the summer league, attacking the rim, which he's always been very, very good at. But that's sort of the next step to his game, right? He can develop that off ball, cutting at the right times and in the right places and knocking down shots from the outside. But then if he can slowly start to develop a little bit of that ball handling and start to create some looks for himself, that's when he can really blossom from a good player to, dare I say, a great player one day. So those are just a few areas I think that he could take to really elevate his game. So that'll do it. Real quick before you hop on out of here, I want to give a quick Real One roll call. If you've been watching this entire video and you're still rocking with us here at the end of today's show, give me a Real One down in the comment section. I'm going to be going through and responding to everybody who is a Real One who watched the whole show. So make sure you comment down below so I know who's been rocking out with us and who is a real fan of the show. That's going to do it for today's 76ers Now. I am Jake Chipper, and we'll see you next time here on the show.